Don't know why I do this to myself. But alas, here we are. Let me take those. Okay. Oh. Hello, everybody. It's very likely that you might be watching this after the fact. You are? I appreciate you. Appreciate you, and I like you. There was some things that I was actually going to make a video today, talking about this. Let me see if I can bring it before we get into the TikTok debates. Let me see if I can just real quick talk at you guys, because I want to show something and then I want to comment about it briefly. And because I haven't watched all these shows, but an idea of what is going on and some things that I don't particularly like or care for. Is it possible to hold on? So this video popped up. Gary shared this, Nerdrotic shared this, and we'll just check out the scene real quick. We'll check out the scene because it's important.
Listen, that wasn't tactical. I lost it. It's okay. It happens. You know, sometimes the rage builds up and you just gotta let it out.
So the scene, it goes on to like basically say Loki is making a joke here about how sometimes you just fly off the handle and you do stupid stuff. And he goes on to chronicle the events of the invasion in New York, with Tony and the Avengers and all that. And there's a lot of controversy going on around about how this is the state of Marvel right now. This is the state. It's awful. My argument is that this has little to do with Marvel, but more of Hollywood's portrayal or need to portray villains as sympathetic, like anti-heroes, which I don't necessarily mind finding the human aspect in villains, but part of what makes them villains is the fact that they are severely lacking a human element. And, you know, Loki was a great villain through many films, and they kept his villainy going. Even when you thought that he was learning from his ways and doing things that he should have, helping his brother, he always had some ulterior motive, which made him a villain. But this show, along with many other shows, does this thing where it wants to humanize the villain experience. But that's not what made great movies great before. There's a great quote about how villains have the exact same backstory or a very similar backstory to the hero, but they've both diverted in where they became like they both are taking two separate paths. And that's what I'm seeing right now. It's not that this is bad writing. This scene is actually kind of cool. And we've had scenes like this before in Marvel movies, like the shawarma scene. And people say, "Oh, that's not the same." But it's kind of a silly, like, "Oh my God, there's like serious stuff happening. There's dead aliens everywhere. I'm just hungry." It's very similar to this scene. Again, don't hate this scene, but what I hate is the dilution of what a villain actually is. I'm just kind of sick of it. And it speaks to a larger problem in culture, is that or you could extrapolate that into society, into cultural themes. Why are we trying to make villains sympathetic? Well, we have lots of things in culture right now that are trying to be normalized, lots surrounding children, so to speak. And what should we be teaching kids? Like, what should we be accepting of? And this might have larger implications we're seeing it in Hollywood. Is this a message that they're also like through this media? Are they trying to say to people, hey, you should be more accepting of people who are bad? It does present a larger problem that I think we should think about. Anyways, I do want to get into Tik Tok debates. Let's see if there's one in particular I want to.
Else out there is doing it.
What is the one spy trick?
Sorry.
Then maybe I'll make some cool like.
See if we can find it. If you're not cis, you're transphobic. Oh, he's doing one now. We'll see how long it lasts. We'll request to join.
Like, are you actually okay with like ending a fetal life up to 9 months?
I'm not arguing semantics. I just think that having an abortion is okay, especially when we look at what actual abortions are, not just what like right-leaning conservatives say they are, but like what the actual medical procedure is.
Yeah, I feel like the methods that go, I'm okay with it within the first trimester because it is up until like they are sentient, they have certain like brain, I forget the word, but you're okay past that. I just feel like the methods that they use are just a lot more intrusive and gruesome the farther along that you are. And like if the baby is okay medically all the way to like say 8 months, then people give birth at 8 months and the baby is viable. You're okay with them being viable and then ending that viability?
What do you, hold on, sorry, let me restart. What do you think an abortion is?
The abortion is the terminating of a pregnancy or ending it. And I know that a lot of people in the comments were like saying like all C-sections are technically abortions. And like obviously in those cases where you're not ending the life like purposely, I'm okay with doing C-section. But I mean abortion with the purpose of ending the fetal life. I'm against.
Yeah, so I would just say termination abortion should happen up until sentience. After sentience, you should focus on abortion methods that would prioritize the life of the fetus.
Yeah. Okay. So what week would you say?
This guy is not. He's not up for abortion all 9 months. I wanted to see like the idea of sentience. When is the capacity for sentience acquired during human fetal development? The question of when the human fetus develops the capacity for sentience is central to many contentious issues. The answer could and should influence attitudes toward IVF and embryo experimentation, abortion, and fetal neonatal surgery. For the fetus to be described as sentient, the somatosensory pathways from the periphery to the primary somatosensory region in the cerebral cortex must be established and functional. Fetal behavior is described in the development of the underlying anatomical substrate and the chemical and electrical pathways involved in the detection, transmission, and perception of somatosensory stimuli are reviewed. "18 to 25 weeks." That's what this abstract says. Just kick that one. Let's see if I get in at all.
Y'all tried to tell her in the comments.
Oh. Oh, what? I don't know where my request went, but I requested. Well, no, I have been on this with this guy before, but
I've hit the point in Iraq where I'm almost self-sufficient.
oh, he's playing a video game while he's trying to debate. You gave in. The thumbnail is the exact face I made before clicking on the stream. Oh man, comments are interesting. Let me in. Let me in.
At this point, I just have to go to islands so I can get titanium Advanced Collection Net. Let's go, baby.
Stop playing good video games and debate, loser.
Battery charger. Let's go, baby. Engine controls. Let's go, baby.
I'm also going to try and limit how long I do this today and try and keep it to like a half an hour at most.
Fuel tank. Anybody want to debate me? Ooh, curbs. Damn. Coming in to snipe me. Back up to 2 hours. Golly. Okay, curbs, I see you. I see you, Shagsworth. I'm not debating, bro. He's so for real.
Oh, he said no. He declined.
Why not? Because the first time we ever debated, you shit talked me on Twitter while we were mid-debate, thinking I wouldn't see it. He's so for real.
Bro, what like a dude. He doesn't like your beard probably.
Who cares? Well, I would say it shows that you're inherently disingenuous to be mid-conversation with somebody and on Twitter going, well, this person's an idiot. I think that shows that you're disingenuous. You're not actually trying to have a serious conversation. You're just trying to, like, I don't know what the word is, perform for your conservative base. Fuck, I need scrap.
People get so mad. You know what's funny is that he'll do this, and then like pretend like he's like open-minded, and he I don't know, man. I can't stand him sometimes. I'll continue to watch him because I want to see what he has to say about all this.
2 more hours, bro. What should I do with the last 2 hours?
Well, if he's not going to do it, I'm not going to stick around here, loser. Pro-choice, America is racist, feminist is great. We do not need gender roles. There's an attack on women. Fuck out of here. Oh man. Are we not gonna get one today? Is there no one good on to talk to? Yeah, I heard his fifis, yeah. Oh, NPC alert. That's awesome. What is this person talking about? No, I don't want to talk to them. There's like debates happening, but they're so... This question, I'm a trans woman, which washroom should I use? I don't know. If you're passable, use whatever you want, I guess. But if you're a guy, like, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Why do I feel so? Because this is the thing. That's fine. And it probably was bad form. Admittedly, it was probably bad form. And here's the thing. I legitimately want to have a decent conversation with this guy. I really do. Not now. I don't want. No. Stop. I don't want your TikTok coins. Not now. Jesus. I'm trying to find a debate. I thought for sure he would let me in. Oh, you call me stupid. This guy, and this is a guy, literally he will just call people stupid mid-live, like while they're on there. Maybe that's better. Maybe that's better because it's to their face, but yeah, dude dude is like, he's not a good faith debater. I think I've told you this. His little thing says abortion all 9 months, and then he'll go on to say, oh well, abortion at like, you know, in the third trimester, like if you're like, it doesn't always result in their death. Like, we're talking about birth, bro. So change it. Just change it to what you mean. You see the Blair White video where he got kicked out of a restaurant for using a male bathroom? Really? No, I didn't see that. Give me a debate. Kiss your sweet ass goodbye. Ooh, that's weird. Ugh. Where are the debates, y'all? I like legit thought I could get in there. I legit did. Let's talk about dating. Nah, let's not. Y'all are weird. Yeah, he's for sure a hypocrite. Whatever, man. Like, he doesn't want to debate. He doesn't want to debate. It's fine. He doesn't want to let me in. That to me is just, this to me is a bit of cowardice. Like, one time, dude got all upset because I said something. And I didn't join this. I didn't, like, it was like months before I ever joined his live again. We did talk. They're going to blackball you? Probably. Blair looks like a woman, so no one would think twice or care if he went into the woman's room. Debate me now, bigot. I'll let you, if you want to debate something, join Discord or something. Like, that's, I wish YouTube had the debate. What up, Mephisto? Good to see you, brother. I wish YouTube had the same sort of like debate bros in it, but it, like, TikTok is just like low hanging fruit, like people who are, I don't know. I think it's just really like disingenuous. There's a lot of like Jesus is the way, like religious things I don't have any interest in talking about. Like, I'm not seeing anything. A lot of like people opening Pokemon packs. Weird. That's a weird thing to do. Oh, there's just a guy staring at a camera. Give me a debate. Oh, he's just memeing. But I have thought about it. I don't have TikTok and I don't know anything about it. Yeah, it's like the TikTok is just, it's like debate bros, like debate bros light is what it is. Weird. Like people who want to debate and they don't necessarily, they're not like necessarily trying to learn anything. Or it's a bunch of like e-thoughts. Like two women, I just saw two women are sitting with their legs spread wide open, basically wearing spandex, talking to the camera. TikTok is cancer for America. It's not great. It's not great. I think if you don't manage it properly, it can overtake your life in really bad ways. Oh, what's this person doing?
I'm gonna just come back to it later.
I don't know. They're not debating anything. They're just sitting there looking at their phone. No debates. No debates. What's going on? E-thoughts now, I'm intrigued. Can you see creases? Link? Mephisto. No. I don't see any creases. I moved on from it. I'm just like thumbing my way through. Oh, look at this. Some real awesome work you got there, lady. Great job. Lady straightening her hair. Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh, this is disappointing, y'all. This is disappointing. Nobody on here debating? What? NPC, but yeah, dude, it's so weird. Even the largest conservatives Discord is so bad. People getting muted constantly, and most of their takes are L's. Slow Monday, I'm telling you, debate these Palestine activists, you'll hear some outlandish shit. I've been actually listening to a lot of people regarding the Palestine stuff, and like full panels of people debating it and whether it's good or bad. And you know, it really, what it comes down to is a chicken or the egg thing, Mephisto. The debate becomes who deserves it more, is like what it kind of devolves into. And that's like, I don't know. It's not something I really want to get into with people. Yeah. Ugh. I don't know. It's weird. Stop standing there like that. What are you doing? People make me cringe on this app. Oh, that's got to be fake. Lady just sitting there twitching. Palestinians are indigenous. Land back. The state of Israel is not the Judaic people. Free Palestine. Oof. I just want to listen to this. Over here, it's always chicken and egg. Where do you start the count?
Distinction that is very important is that an Israeli person living under the Israeli government is not the government. Like, they're not causing the government, right?
Right.
And just like those of us living underneath the United States government. Now, sometimes, yes, absolutely. And there are some people living underneath the Israeli state government who absolutely participate. Yet it does not mean that the Judaic people are. And there's also the problem of the fact that there are Judaic people across the globe, right, who are not Israeli governmental people. Like, they're not a part of the Israeli state, right? Their classification might be Israeli, right, because they might come and descend from the Israeli people. They are Judaic people who live across the globe. Somebody who is a Judaic person who lives in the United States is not about the state of Israel. Like, it's a totally different thing. The state of Israel is the government, and what the government itself is doing is a completely different thing than the Judaic people themselves.
Yeah, saying a whole lot of nothing there. Other than the government fucked up is what. See, my thing is my issue with this whole thing becomes like the amount of collateral damage that's been had through this whole conflict, and that is like, that's the differentiation I make. Like, if we're designating Hamas as a terrorist organization, like, then we fight terrorism if they're ruling over their people. So Hamas only gets a fraction of the votes, but is still voted into office. It's not representative of what the people of Palestine, for example, want. Like, so I'm sure there are Hamas sympathizers within Palestine, but it's not the overall. Like, if we're just looking at like the election results from it, what she was saying was not really. It wasn't really much. I muted her because she was just. I'll put it back on here.
Migrate through space as a person who belongs to, and we call these hunter-gatherer versus collector tribes. So please do not think of this as all people prior, because there are many people, there are many nations here in Turtle Island who are collector tribes versus and not hunter-gatherer tribes. Hunter-gatherer means that you're moving in a migratory pattern throughout the year to gather your things, whereas a collector means that you're staying in one space and you're going out to those different spaces over the course of the year. So there are groups of people who are migratory, and we call those groups of people hunter-gatherers. Now, when we're looking at this migratory pattern, you may be moving into space in your migration.
I thought she's not taking people to talk, so I'm just going to keep scrolling and see if we can't find something. Let's talk about borderline personality disorder. No, I want to like debate people. Oh, what do you know? Your shirt's tightly fitting. Trans women are better being women. Wait, trans women are better being women. Straight men that date trans women are straight. Collecting is gathering. She's nomadic. Yeah. How do a Turtle Islander know anything about Israel Palestine? I don't know. I moved on from her. She was not interesting. Sorry, guy. Oh, look, you got your feet up on the desk. Dude, this to me, this is the lowest form of content. Like, do you get your bag, lady? But this to me is the lowest form of content. Sitting in your gamer chair with your tight fucking pants, with your feet up on your thing, like right in front of the camera. Like, get out of here. 1.2 thousand people, 1,200 people watching this shit. Bro, what? Looks like Twitch. Yeah, it does. This girl's just sitting here staring at a screen with a camera. What? Pro-choice Christian? Oh. Ah! This app, dude, is so wild. It's such a wild app. Oh, is this the... I'm here for the TikTok cancer. What did I miss? I haven't gotten in on one. A guy denied me, saying he's not going to debate me because a long time ago I said something bad about him on the internet mid debate. He got all up in his feelings. So I'm looking for something. I haven't found anything like good yet. It's just a lot. There isn't like anything on here. I was hoping to get on that particular live, but this might be a bust. I'm trying to not make it be, but there's literally nothing. There's really like nobody debating. This is what Wikipedia says. Turtle Island is a name for Earth or North America used by some indigenous peoples, as well as by some indigenous rights activists. Don't knock those e-thoughts. You got 7 people watching you scroll through your phone. Yeah, this is true. This is true. Thank you, everybody, for Jesus was just high. Interesting. Oh, what's she talking about?
መቼ ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ እንደገባችሁ እንኳን አለማወቃችሁ ግን በጣም ያሳዝናል።
Don't know what that is. I am very lucky. I'm very lucky that you guys watch me do this. What in the heck? Yeah, I cannot find anyone who's like really debating anything. I want to go back and see if I can't just like restart my live search. Weird, man. Smash that like button. Share with your friends. I could sit here and play some Lies of P for you. I was raging hard last night. I'll take the air conditioning, plumbing, etc. from Western civilization versus being lectured in a teepee. True. Have fun, Mephisto. Thanks for checking in. I wish I had more entertaining things. Again, there's like literally no debate. Oh.
Me, because I'm not ducking anything, honey. You're asking me, what do you do with them? Right? Okay, what do you do with them then? What do I do with what then? I asked you a question. Follow it up with what you're asking me, and I will answer your question. I just don't understand what your question is. What do I do with what? With Ashra? An Ashura pole? You mean a wooden Ashura, which is to represent a goddess? You would decorate and worship around it.
What up, Bearded Gamer?
Speaking of. If you're talking about the group, I don't do anything with them because I'm not a part of them. I have no. But again, there's so many things we've
I don't
talked.
know what's happening here. Let's look. We're still looking for debates. I'm really surprised I haven't found. What is this? The hot seat. Guys, icy blue eyes. It's kind of crazy. What is he talking about? Oh, it just shifted your focus. Okay. See if he's going to say.
Joy. It's going to be great topics. Welcome to the Hot Seat with Hot Conversations. Shout out to my wonderful co-host, Sweet Tea in the building.
Hot Seat Conversations? This sounds like my kind of shit.
Mama G, and shout out to Sheila in the comments section. I appreciate everybody. But today's show is going to start off a little bit differently. Not as toxic. Okay, maybe a little bit toxic. Maybe a little bit. But it ain't going to be like a full-blown toxicity. Just a little bit. Where we talking like, y'all wait, I'll be in the messages. It's not that bad. Before we start the show, I'm definitely going to start off opening the boxes up in a second. It's a little powwow. Then we're going to get to the topics. Then we're going to get heated with the discussions. I'm pretty sure Sweet Tea has great topics today. I don't feel well, so I'm not going to be hosting the topics today because I don't feel well. So I'm going to let Sweet Tea hold it down today. But so when she gets ready,
yeah, I'm going to try.
It's going to be pretty dope. But I just want to open up the floor to everybody. If you was in the live Friday, I want to address Friday's live because I feel as if like all the comments, not the comments, the DMs I got, and all the DMs and all the DMs and all the DMs I got. So I'm going to address Friday's live just so I can finally put all these DMs to rest and get off my chest, and hopefully we can move on amicably. So when we get to 1,000 likes, I'm gonna open up the boxes. Once we hit 1K, the boxes will open and we can address
Friday.
I'll like. I know that's like the big elephant in the room, so I'm just going to address it and get out.
I'm gonna hit the like button for this guy.
So, I don't feel well.
There's only 8 people here right now, so we'll see.
Thank you guys for being part of the show. The hot seat has been amazing, only because you allowed it to be amazing. Yeah. Did I miss something? If you were not in the live Fridays, it's probably going to be like thrown off if you wasn't there Friday. But if you were there Friday, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I thought Friday was great.
His name is J Major.
The fuck? Where were you at? Erica, how you doing, everybody? So, yeah, we're at 1K. So I'm gonna open up the boxes.
Let me in. Let me in.
See
what's going on.
So I'm going to address on Friday. I know Friday was a very chaotic show on Friday. I know a lot of the words were said, you know, tempers were high, and, you know, a lot of commotion occurred. Give people the opportunity to, if you feel some type of way about how I conducted the show, or how I addressed certain issues, or how I put it into a lot of the madness. If you have anything you want to say, the floor is open to anybody that wants to address it. If you feel as if how I handled Friday's show was deemed inappropriate or it hurt your feelings, like I said, I created this platform for people to have safe spaces to express how they feel, to get their, you know, points across. Like I said, if you're upset about who was on here or said what and I didn't boot them, honestly, I wanted the discussion. I left certain individuals up here for set discussions. But if they hurt your feelings, that's not my fault. Honestly, it's really not. But if you want to say something, you definitely can. In the next like 5 minutes, you have the floor. So, Sweet Tea, like the first 5 minutes, let people who want to come up state their frustrations or concerns.
Okay.
So I'm giving y'all guys 5 minutes, starting now.
I'm sure that some of the people that were in here are not going to come in, so.
Yeah, no judgment. Like I said, safe space. I'm not going to judge you. Just wondering if you have anything you want to say. Like I said, y'all flooded my inboxes. So if y'all want to say anything, y'all definitely can. I have like 4 minutes. How's the weather?
It's great. My house smells like tar.
Definitely. 3 minutes. You know, let's not all rush at once, shall we? I mean, fuck, y'all had a lot to say in my DMs. Y'all don't want to say shit now.
Can I ask what
I
people were
think they're
actually
in
mad
another
about?
live.
Can I ask what people were mad about?
So I have 3 sets of rules on my live. Only three.
Hmm?
One, just pay attention. Make sure you listen attentively to respond, and don't just ask what the topic is like countless times. That bothers me. 2, be respectful. Like I said, you can say things that may hurt people's feelings, but if it's not on the lines of blatant disrespect, then I allow certain things to go because it's like borderline okay, borderline not. So I'll allow it. 3, don't use slurs in my fucking life.
Fair.
I think that's something that should be practiced relatively often. That we don't call people slurs or racial slurs or say racial slurs. I think we should have this conversation in 2023. But it's 2023. So what can you say?
Yep.
So I ended the live. So I just flat out ended the live. Didn't tell no one bye. I just ended it because they had one too many slurs being thrown around, and I just ended it. So in the midst of that, people were saying, had their comments or opinions, but they have like 2 minutes before I start my show, and no one's saying anything. So I'm just going to take it for
I'm
what it
sure
is.
they'll come in and interrupt when they feel like it because the entitlement is real.
and
Sounds
let
like
me see,
fun.
there's 13 beautiful people here right now. So all 13 people heard I gave 5 minutes. So if anybody comes in here
You
trying
did.
to say that I didn't give them the time that they deserved, I gave everyone 5 minutes. So we're gonna start.
Absolutely.
We're gonna start the show. See what you got for us today.
So approached by dating single mom as they're playing with another man's saved game file. Hmm.
What?
Let's see here. So
Ooh.
remember
What's going on? Off grid Colorado's in the building. What's up? What's up? What's up? Thank you, everybody. Lamb, I see you.
welcome in,
Elizabeth, I
welcome in,
see you.
welcome
Welcome,
in.
welcome, welcome. Guys, we're about
Thank
to
you,
start this.
Liam. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying thank you for my gift.
Oh, okay. You can start the show when you're ready.
Why do we have to beg our partner for things other people are willing to do with ease?
Ooh, I can answer that. That's easy as shit. I don't know why. Because y'all are trifling. Sorry. I have to take that back. No, I just think people get complacent and get comfortable. And once someone gets comfortable, that extra shit goes out the window. It's funny how you can date someone for like 10 years and you're just dating and they're doing everything you need them to do and want them to do perfectly fine. You get married, that shit is out the window. Like the cheeks are out the window. Like that sexy stuff she was wearing before, out the window.
I'm gonna check that.
No. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me? Yo, yo, yo. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I
can
can
you
hear you.
hear it? Yeah,
Yep.
we can hear you.
Oh yes. Okay, so that sexy stuff she was wearing out the window. And guess what? You like that special moment only for your birthday. You like that special occasion only for Christmas. And guess what? She's gonna half-ass it. She ain't gonna do it. She used to be a pro at certain stuff. You get married, she turns to an amateur. So that's what I feel about the situation. But the floor is open. I believe the Shagsworth. The Shagsworth?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You good?
Well, I think something that is lacking nowadays is people's like inability to communicate with their partner at like a very early stage in the relationship. So stuff like so you should understand like what your person values early on. And if those things don't line up, there's no point in spending your life with them. So it shouldn't go from, being really super awesome in the beginning and then you get married and it's like it's like devoid of emotion and sexual activity or whatever, like I don't know why this happens with people. Maybe it's a reason, or maybe it's because of these dating apps, which is essentially speed dating, mixed with heroin on your phone. You know, it's like it's the weirdest thing that. So we don't actually value what our partners value, or at least understand those values, so that we can provide them with the things that they need, and we don't need to get that validation elsewhere.
Could you believe if I told you that 40% of marriages are not clapping cheeks?
Wait, say that again.
Would you believe that 40% of marriages in this day and age, in this time period, are not clapping cheeks?
Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's funny, like I said, it's funny how when you're dating, you know, she's like the bomb, like she's willing to do anything and everything. Oh, you want me to suck your big toe? Got you, babe. I got you. Then when you get married, that shit is no longer on the menu. It's no longer an option. You ask, she's going to look at you like you some foreign object, like ew, right? Ew, no, ew. So it's crazy how the switch up after marriage is real. Like it's a real thing. Um, Maine, what's up? What you got for us?
I'm gonna say, I think people do things for certain people because those are the people that they feel like they want to keep. It's the person not trying to keep them. So
I could certainly believe that statistic. I'm muted on here, so they can't hear me. I'm muting her. I do believe that there is a reason for it, and doesn't necessarily always mean like understanding the person's values, but the courting process is much different, right? You're trying to find that partner, but there's a lot of work that goes into it, and it's not just about sexual activity. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in order to keep this partner long term, and that is understanding the values, making sure those things line up in general. But yeah, you have that honeymoon phase, and then it sort of drops off. Which again, it happens to some people, doesn't for others. But I think having a firm idea of what your partner wants is really good, and mixing things up and being your partner's best friend through it all.
What you got for us, man?
I think that there was a good point made about communication, but I also feel like once you get married, yeah, you don't get it maybe as often, but I feel like sometimes the dynamic change because sometimes people take other people for granted, right? Like you start depending on that person not in a way that you did before, and they start maybe having to carry more of the household work and things like that, right? So there could be resentment growing. And with no
Resentment can be squashed with communication again, and also understanding what your partner values. You don't need to validate their every whim. You don't need to take over all the jobs that the other person has, but also an understanding that everything's not going to be clear cut down the line 50-50.
You're having to do laundry, you're having to cook dinner. Are you really going to want to suck a big toe after you've had no help at all?
Yes, of course you should. Yes. Why not? You better worse with this big toe.
I do think that it goes back
I'm
to
just saying, I'm just
sorry, Lam.
like,
Oh, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say I think that like resentment builds out of not communicating though. Like, I mean, there is a honeymoon phase that people go through where everything's hot and heavy, and it deals with the dating and courting process anyway, because you are trying to find a partner, you're trying to find a way to, find someone that you love and respect. At some point though, you need to learn to do a couple things. One, communicate your needs and wants to that person, but also be willing to weigh the load that they're not willing to take some days, and then and then they will do the same. Again, if this person's not willing to do that or be up to communicating that, things are going to devolve quickly, and resentment is probably the quickest killer in any relationship.
I definitely agree, and they hate me when I say this on here. I believe that communication is a great tool, but comprehension is much better. And they hate when I say this because I feel as if, and we all had discussions on this, is that people think their way of communicating is communicating, but it's really not communicating. If you're giving hints or doing these subtle things where you're trying to get your point across without getting your point across, they ain't gonna get you nowhere. So, y'all hate when I say this, but it's the God honest truth because we can't read your minds, ladies. Uncle Real, what you got?
I'm gonna assume the topic is the communication or the lack of intimacy dwindle after you get married. Is that what the topic is? I just kind of just jumped in. Yeah, I know. I broke your rule. My bad.
No, ask T. It's T show today. Ask T.
The question is, why do we have to beg our partner for things that other people are willing to do with ease?
So we've kind of strayed from the actual question, but it still remains relevant, like because people aren't willing to communicate, or they think that the communication they're trying to do is somehow an affront to their existence, or the person when they do communicate, they treat it as an affront to their existence.
We have to do to get you, but then once we got you, it's like, why we don't have to do any of that thing anymore because we got you already. For women, you feel like we have to just constantly reciprocate, and then
Oh,
Uncle Real, you're breaking up. I think what he's going to say is, ladies, we do everything we can to obtain you, but it's your job to keep us. I think that's where he was going with that approach.
yikes!
Probably not. I'm toxic as fuck, so I'm just going to stay with it. So men, like I said, it's your job to get that woman. It's your job, but it's her job to keep you. Like, don't forget that, fellas. It's her job to keep you. You don't keep her; she keeps you.
It's a ballet dance.
Real momish. What's up?
Goes both ways. You sound dumb. Stop spewing bullshit on TikTok, please.
I feel like
Anyways,
I feel like I feel like that's exactly the problem, is that mentality is when people, and I'm not just going to say it's just men, it's because certain women as well, when they have the mentality that they've already bagged it, then they don't feel like they got to continue to put the effort and the work into the relationship. But then that completely erases the fact that you're saying communication is key. Because if I'm communicating something to you and I'm telling you, I don't like this, or I need this to change in order for us to be able to be where we need to be, whether it's intimacy or whether it's another need that I'm asking of you, but you're not willing to budge on it just because you feel like, well, I'm already married, so there's no point in it. That's where a lot of things start to like fall into, people feeling like, okay, well, if you're not going to give it to me and so is giving me the attention or whatever the case is, whether it's a man or a female that's looking for the attention, that's where you feel like you're getting it easier from someone else. But it's because that other person is getting only the good part of you, where the person you're with at home, they're getting the stress of the bills, the stress of the kids, the stress of the communicating that's not going well, the stress of everything that goes into building a household. And instead of trying to fix that, people run to the easiest thing that they can get, which is the attention from someone else.
I have a question. I have a question for the ladies on the panel, if you don't mind. Just my mannish ways. I know a lot of y'all say kids are the reason why you can't clap the cheeks, but have y'all not heard of a quickie?
It's not the kids. So what it is, so for me, I'm a strong believer that an intimacy for women is more than just like, for men, I feel like it's more physical and like visual, where women, it's more like, what did you do that day to help me feel good today? What did you do to lighten my load? What did you do? Just like we do for men. Like, we cook so you don't got to come home to no food. We clean so that you come home to a clean house. We take care of the kids so you don't got to worry about the chaos of what's going on with them for the day to day. You can just be the dad that goes to the sports, whether or whatever the case may be. But when it goes both ways, y'all make faces like that, and then that's where it starts to become an issue. Because
you
it
did not
goes
just
both
say
ways.
that.
It's not just physical. For me,
hold
for
on.
women, in my opinion, it's not just physical. I can't just be like, oh, okay, yep, I wanted it. It's like you have to stimulate us mentally and emotionally as well.
I have a question for you. Wait, hold on. I have a question for you. You just said that you don't cook. You did. What if we did that to y'all? How would that make y'all feel? If you came up to me and was like, "Hey, babe, give me that," and I'm like, "Well, I cooked last week. You didn't wash the dishes, so I ain't about to let you touch me." Like, how would that make you feel?
There's a lack of communication. Then there's a lack of communication.
Oh, now it's a lack of communication. But you just said with your whole chest, though. But now it's a lack
I
of
know, because
communication.
I said it because it's the reality. The reality is women don't do, it's not always physical and visual with women. It's about how are we okay in an okay space. Like, I'm not going to want to go and lay down with you, whether it's for 5 minutes or 50 minutes, if we've been pissed off at each other for the past 3 days. Like, that's just not realistic.
You better get that anger out of me. Yes. Go
Nah,
ahead.
Jay, can I answer that right
that's
quick?
called makeup sex.
Can I answer that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell happened on my thing. To answer Real Mamash's question, you see, I'm gonna say this statement, and you know what? I'm kind of like Jay. I'm on demon time today, so I'm sorry if I offend you, but men love unconditionally, and women love once conditions are met. So basically, listen. If we're not fucking resurfacing the structure of the house, if we're not fucking rebuilding the car, if we're not, you know, repainting the house or anything, it's like we have to.
How much of gender roles dictates that, right? Like we love unconditionally, and then women love conditionally, but like sometimes I wonder, like, is that the product of the established gender roles? Like, is that just the way of things? It's a hard question to answer. It's one I want to think more about.
But like you said, though, why is the honey to-do list always for men to do things in a relationship? That's basically what that is. You know what I mean? Where's the list for women to do things as well?
Don't do that. You're gonna get yourself in a rabbit hole. Don't do that.
God damn, dude.
Nah, man, no. You know what? Because these women been kicking our ass all week, and I'm tired of being the only one holding it down. So y'all better stretch y'all stuff. Y'all keep leaving me in the trenches.
And one last thing to the women. I love y'all, but again, I'm on demon time. You want us, and when we doing it, you want us to go all out, but your knees have check engine lights after 2.
Later, Mephisto.
Rio, who pissed in your Cheerios today?
Hey, I'm just gonna say it's to all the men. They expect you to be 6 feet tall and make 6 figures, and you know damn well you 5'4", making $20 an hour. So you better be. I'll be mad with y'all if I was in y'all's shoes.
Dude, I kind of want
Go
to.
ahead, Steal the Mama G.
What's the topic? 'Cause I don't know where we're at.
Oh Jesus!
Came in late.
This is
Came
why
in
we like
late.
that. This is why they don't respect us. See, men. This is why the
I
women don't
came in
respect
late.
us
I only
because
got
we don't
some of
listen.
it. I apologize. Can you just bring me up and I'll say what I have to say?
I will. After I say this, this is why women don't respect us because we don't listen, and we don't even fake it like we do listen because we. What did you say? You could have just said a whole bunch of shit that was off topic and made it work. And made it fucking work. Come on, man.
Well, maybe if
Sweet
they said a whole lot, maybe if they actually said something without saying a whole lot, then we'd actually listen. Because we only pick up like 20 words you say anyway in a 5,000 word dialogue. But I digress.
Bro, no, feisty.
Sweet Tea, can you give Still the topic, please?
Still, this is the last time I'm ever going to do this for you, so accept it as it is. Why do we have to beg our partner for things other people are willing to do with ease?
I think it's because you're not labeled to the other person. I think once you become a label, it's like someone that really don't know you as much is doing something to be kind. You know, it's out of kindness. But when you're in a relationship with a partner, everything goes through the back of their mind. You didn't take the trash out. Why'd you come home late? All that shit. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, it's like it's not. They second guess themselves with doing things. You know what I mean? It's like a judgment thing. That's what I think.
Why can't people just do their job? Why is everything some like weird petty?
You just took us back about 15 minutes. What are you saying?
Bro, you just took us back to the Stone Ages. What was that labeled? Let me help you out.
2 = 2 in that equation. What?
What are you talking about, Still? Go ahead, Mama G.
So I feel like some people just get like accustomed to being in that relationship. They don't feel like they still have to fight for it. Sometimes people are hard-headed. They tired. I think there's different scenarios depending on the situation. I don't think everything is pinpointed to one like reasoning. Some people are just tired of their partners, and the people looking in don't know how these people act, what these people do, how they like live life. So they're looking in because they see the figure, the body, the looks, what they have. They don't really know the person like that person in the relationship. You feel me? That's just me.
Who came first? Crazy or T-Rev? I can't remember who came first.
Did.
Who?
T-Rev.
Okay, T-Rev, you got the floor.
Y'all asked me the question again. I'm very slow. I'm sorry.
Lord,
Lord help us.
we're gonna make the announcement. The live. We will not continue to repeat the topic over and over and over and over again. This is the
Lord,
last
I'm
time I'm
sorry.
repeating the topic.
Goodness. I'm sorry. Damn.
Why do we beg our partner for things other people are willing to do with ease?
Because you's a bitch.
Don't do it. I don't know. My girlfriend don't gotta beg me to do nothing, and if she gotta beg me to do something, then I mean, if somebody else could do it, go with them. I ain't stressing about it. I do everything. I don't know what that question really means. I do everything that she asks me to.
Okay, we about to speak hook thugonomics in a second. I already see where
my
this
God.
is going. So you do everything, your partner don't gotta do nothing. You do everything, and your partner ain't gotta do nothing.
If she asks me to do something, I do it. By doing things, what are you guys referring to? Like paying bills or cooking?
You're supposed to do that. That's all things that you're supposed to. That's why I
Well,
think
yeah,
people get, things that some things. Say if you're chilling right with the homies, and
All
she tell
right.
you get your ass home right now.
I don't really want to be in this live anymore. I want to like try and talk to somebody. I don't really want to hear other people. I think I said my piece, and I'm gonna dip out. You guys cool with that? Jack's gonna go in and ask to repeat the question.
a lot of homies, but if she tell me, "Hey, come home," I'm gonna be like, "All right, I better get some coochie, but I'm gonna come for sure."
And wish she'll give you that. Wait, hold on. Wait, how
Are you,
old
if
are
you
you?
don't
Hold
mind
on.
me
Wait,
I'm
hold.
asking?
Whoa,
20.
whoa,
I'm
whoa,
20.
whoa.
I'm
You're
20. I'm
20. How
20.
many relationships you ever been in?
I've been in 2 serious,
How
one and
long
a
have they
half.
been?
I
How long have they been?
The first one was only a year, and then right now I'm going on a 3.5 year relationship. I'm not
That
big.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
cover?
I'm gonna drop. I dropped. I want to try and find someone who wants to like talk, man, and I can't. Trans. I don't want that one. Debates only. Spanking is spanking is abuse and lazy parenting. Do we get back into this one? Oh, what? Oh, and free Palestine? Oh my god. All right. We do it. Let's see. Let's hear.
Okay. But what are you look? I mean, you're looking up something that's non-existent.
Here, I'm
No,
gonna
I'm
be.
not. I have the
Like, you're
source
gonna
in
find
my
it.
Discord, quite literally.
I'm gonna
Like
be right
me and my
back.
friend were
Hold on one
literally
second. I'll be
just
right back.
talking about it. It's also in my videos. But anyways, yes.
Hey, can you also mute the comments that are being racist towards me, please? If you're gonna mute other comments that are in support of me.
What comments are being racist to you?
I don't like the YT thing. He's literally giving us white history. Laugh my ass off. That's rude. If she doesn't like the history that I'm
That's not
giving.
racist.
Oh, okay. Well, she's saying that my history is incorrect because I'm a white person. So yeah, that's racism.
I think she was saying you're giving like whitewashed history, not necessarily that you're giving a white man giving white history.
And okay, everybody else is saying because you're white, so that's racism.
That's not racism.
Yeah, it is. But
No.
here, go on. What were you looking up? Can we go back to the original topic about how Palestinians just poofed and then suddenly their land that wasn't theirs is suddenly theirs, please?
So anyways, specifically in that source, it talks about Palestinians settling there, I believe, after the Iron Age or something to that effect, because I don't have access to my Discord, so I can't get it. But
Okay.
if you give me a historical source, I'll read it.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you don't know like the history of the land and exactly how it came to be called Palestine and how Palestinians then went into the country to push Jews out because they didn't want Jews in there, or how the leader of the whole entire area of what was called Palestine met up with Hitler to discuss the Jews and what
Can
they're
you
going to
find
do
me a
when they
source
send
for
the
that?
Jews
Hold on,
there.
no. Find me a source for that.
The Palestinian leader meeting up with Hitler?
I want a source for everything that you just said. Yeah.
Give me a second.
No worries.
I'll pop it up on my screen so you guys can fucking read it.
I want to be in this so bad. You can't be racist against white people. Yeah.
Hey, can you hear me?
Like I said, you said in the comments something.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So he is not being truthful. That is not the history of Palestine.
Yeah, I know. That's why I want the source. I do also want to ask him about his username and what that means. Someone else is asking. I'm not gaslighting him. Asking for a source is not gaslighting someone. So.
Yeah. Prior to 1948, it was under the British mandate, and the reason why it was under the British mandate was because the Ottoman Empire, who formerly controlled that land, lost World War I along with Germany. And so the spoils of war, which was Palestine, Syria, Jordan, and Iraq, went to Britain and France. And
so her 3 topics are: spanking is abuse and lazy parenting; 2, prove to me systemic racism doesn't exist; and then 3, free Palestine. That's her 3 topics. So I think right now they're talking about freeing Palestine.
Good, but yeah, go on.
No, okay. First of all, Zionism is 100% important because it's the very reason why Jews felt like Palestine.
I'm probably going to get into the systemic racism thing and then the spanking thing. If you have any sources that you want to like provide for me, I have it, like my Discord server has a whole debating channel that you can drop stuff in to assist. If you want, you don't have to. But if you feel like you want to like drop some in there.
To that, Palestine didn't exist. That's incorrect. It has always
As a country,
been Palestine.
there was no country of Palestine. The land was called Palestine. That is correct. It was called Palestine. Yes.
Right.
I never argued against that. Palestinian people, I did say, did not come till the 20th century. That is a fact.
Okay. That's not true. So
that is a fact.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Palestinian. Okay, I'm going to base my sources on Albert Harani's History of the Arab People and the Muqaddimah by Ibn Khaldun. Palestinians, meaning brown-skinned Muslim Arabs, probably got in that area probably around the 9th or 10th century and have been there since then. So truthfully, those Palestinian Muslims have a closer tie to the land than European Jews, who are Ashkenazi white European Jews who now call themselves Israelis. If you were to trace their bloodline, it would not go back to the Jews of antiquity. It would probably go back to Germany and Poland and Russia and the places where they were. So they have no true ties to the Jews that were there prior to the Romans coming and throwing them out. There's no connection there. So that's the first thing. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the first thing. And it's been called Palestine since the Romans named it Palestine.
Yeah, after they kicked the Jews out.
Okay, so brown-skinned Palestinian Muslims have been there probably since about the 10th century. And
Okay, well, that's not true because they weren't Palestinian. They came from other Arab countries and filed in.
Really quick,
and then
sorry.
they
I just
didn't
have to
let
ask 2 questions.
Jews
To the bottom. Hold on one second. I
buy
have 2
anything.
questions to the bottom guest. If you're
What?
white, why is your what is your
It's described in my profile because everybody seems to want to point it out when they're losing an argument, so I have to put it in my profile. So you can go ahead, look at my profile. It's explained. Don't need to explain it all the time.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with winning or losing an argument. I just have people in.
I know. I've noticed every single time I go into debates and my opinion is, the opposite of somebody else, they instantly go to my username, call me a Yahtzee and all of that. My family escaped from Germany during the Holocaust, half of my family. If you want to call me a Yahtzee, go ahead. But I think Hamas,
so I just have to make sure. I just don't
Yahtzees,
like
so,
the blacky aspect of your username.
Blacky means like blacked out drunk. It was a saying back when we were like in 2012 and drinking.
Okay, anyways, what's your source?
Dude just bodied her with his fucking username shit, trying to get him on some racist shit, and he just was like, nah. His username is Blackie Cousin 88. So dumb.
Wow, how does that?
I don't know. You
Is this the source of Palestinians talking to Yahtzees?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can tell me what the name of it is, and I'll
Okay,
read it.
so before you present that, to be fair, please present the Zionist Jews also talking to Nazis
It's
about
on
the
the
same thing.
Holocaust Encyclopedia.
What's it called? Sorry.
Right. So feel free to bring up the white Jews who also talk to the Yahtzees as well.
Haj Amin, HAJJ space AMINAL.
The problem with engaging about Israel and Palestine on TikTok is that everyone's made up their mind, and the argument goes to it's the chicken or the egg, and who is most responsible. Who deserves that land? It kind of goes back to, like, how far back do we need to go to revert land to whoever originally had it? It's like when people make the argument, well, we should revert this land back to, we should give it back to the Native Americans. Well, which Native American tribe are we going to give this to? Are we gonna give it to the tribes that migrated across the Bering Strait when it was frozen during the Ice Age and then settled here from Asia? Is that who we're giving it back to? Like, how far back are we willing to go? That's really what a lot of this stuff comes down to, and it's just I don't get it, man. This is like really, really difficult. Really difficult to kind of, like, the back and forth is almost like no one on this app really knows enough. Like, I've read a couple articles and I've watched probably 9 hours worth of videos regarding Palestine and the Israel conflict up until this point, and everything devolves into, who do we give it back to? Who is more wrong? Chicken, egg. That's it. It is. That's exactly what it is. And the only thing that people should be agreeing on is that the collateral damage that has been suffered on both sides is insane. And the fact that that both of them are willing to sacrifice innocent life to prove their point is abhorrent. And it's borderline terrorist on both of it.
So first of all, I didn't know that everything was still happening. I live in the Western world, right? The Western world doesn't really talk about that, especially because the United States backs Israel. So I didn't even know it was still happening. But now that I know it's happening, I'm not going to just shut my eyes to it, right? I don't know that everything that's ever happening against indigenous people, against black people, etc. But as soon as I learn about it, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to do so. That.
But what you're learning, what you're learning and what you're choosing to learn is one-sided. And I think it's because you look at Palestinians as a race of people.
Yeah, so if I wanted to be one-sided, I would also ask for your sources to see where you're coming from and to learn more. Like, if I really wanted to be one-sided, I wouldn't.
I get it, but the fact that you came in already on one side instead of neutral and then learning, that's kind of an issue. And you're only coming in on one side because the people are brown.
So there are certain things that are true, right? So currently, and per international law, the Israeli government is engaging in apartheid and genocide. It's been blockading the Gaza Strip, etc. Right?
Okay, that's not true. Hamas blockaded the Gaza Strip.
Per international law, from Amnesty Official, from the UN, from Human Rights Watch, all of these places, this is happening, right? Palestinians are under an occupation of some sort.
Conveniently leaves out that Palestine has gotten, I think, aid from Iran to the tune of like $4 billion or something like that. They've gotten a lot of aid. Now, whether that, they don't want to say that part because, yeah, sure, the people who are directly attacked by Hamas have cut off food and water supply, but they've also gotten aid from other countries because there's at least 3 other countries that back Israel and Palestine. Like, they're not getting aid. What's up, Brock? Religious and culture wars are something that can be used in logic processing. Each culture has their own truth, and it's hard to pick which truth is correct. Yeah, no, and history is written by the victor on top of all of it.
Evacuation. IDF urges citizens to leave. National Review. There's your source. There's what's going on. There's pictures and fucking everything. The thing is, you guys aren't willing to look these up. You're instantly going to go on one side. No matter what I say right now,
That's
doesn't
not true.
matter.
That's not true.
That is not true because you're not being truthful. You
I'm
need to
not
be
being
more truthful.
I'm
The first
being
part
100% truthful.
The first part of this conversation, you tried to invalidate Palestinians as a people.
I said they weren't a thing till the 20th century, and that is a fact. That is still a fact.
That is
It
not a
doesn't matter
fact.
what you said.
That is not
That
a
is a
fact.
fact.
You are lying. You are a liar. That is not true.
Dude, just because a bunch of
I
Arabs
provided my-
came in and then was like, "Oh, I'm Palestinian now," doesn't make it any more true.
That's not true.
Okay?
That is not true.
That is
You're
what
a liar.
happened. That is literally what happened.
Not what happened. Listen. Look, I gave you two sources of Palestinians arriving at that, coming to Palestine.
Well, he's not wrong. The state of Palestine was agreed upon in 1947. So, like, designating them Palestinian at that point. So he's not wrong.
Originally came from. We were moved. They were moved around for centuries. They were still there originally, 1300 BCE, where Palestinians weren't there to the 20th century. That is a fact. Stop whitewashing history. Hey, dude, it doesn't matter if you want to rewrite history or not. History is still history. That is incorrect. You're wrong.
Everybody should read Albert Harani's History of the Arab People. You'll get it right in there. These are
That's a super non-biased source.
No. He's not Arab though. He's just writing a history. It's a simple history. That's all it is.
Okay, what about the countless articles that refute that? Wait a minute. There's guys like literally blowing leaves. I'm in my car on my lunch break. They're just like surrounding my car with leaf blowers right now, so I can barely hear.
Okay, thanks for the commentary, but the problem is that people like you who want to
invalidate. Oh, okay. So you're gonna keep talking when I said wait a second.
Right. People want to invalidate Palestinians' lives. They want to invalidate their culture so they can push theirs forward. Meanwhile, you guys are just white Jews are just Europeans. If I were to test their blood, it would simply go back to Poland or Germany or Russia or whatever the case may be. Yeah. As I say, they have
Wow, you're fucking racist.
They have no connection to that land. It's just that simple. And I don't think I have
true.
Listen, I have no problem with Zionism as a political movement. The problem I have is when they say our homeland is in Palestine. All right, shut the fuck up. When they say my homeland is in Palestine,
this dude's about to get kicked.
To people and have been. Are you talking about terrorists? Look up the Stern Gang. Look up the early Zionists. They were the first terrorists in Palestine. They were fighting the British. They were fighting Arabs. They were the ones.
Yeah, people that kept trying to take Israel from everybody. Yeah, that's kind of what happens when you're surrounded by people that hate you, that wouldn't let you buy land for years, thousands of years. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Man, you need to research, bro. That's what you're saying.
I'm interested to understand the lineage of Jewish people and how it all like leads back to Jerusalem, or whatever. Like, I don't know enough about that, so I wouldn't even be able to refute that. I don't know. But I don't see how it goes back to ancient Egypt. Okay, yeah, I don't know I don't really know about it. I'd have to spend a lot of time with it. But the state of Palestine is only up from started in 1947. So I mean, like, I guess to that end, the guy is right who's trying to debate. But I mean, the people itself didn't all of a sudden appear in 1947. First mention of Israel by another group in historical evidence was 1209 BCE by the Egyptian scribe around the time of Ramses. Prior to that, it was the Canaanites who biblically were beaten by Israel. Yeah, I do know that much, actually. I recently heard that.
I will do it right fucking back. Do you denounce Hamas, yes or no?
You should.
Again, these are complex questions where
so
a lot of
are you pro-Hamas?
I don't think that denouncing a terrorist organization, like an avowed terrorist organization, is a contentious or very complex question, quite honestly. But, you know.
You're saying? Hamas for the eradication of Jews. You're literally a Yahtzee.
No. Actually, the new Nazis are Israelis, actually.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Jewish people being Nazis. That makes sense.
So before Adolf exiled Jewish people, innocent Jewish people, to the camps, the first thing they did was that they took away their citizenship. Number one, they stripped them of their citizenship. They said racially, you're no longer
You're
German.
about to talk to me about the Holocaust right
And
now.
then number two, all right, would you
Dude,
shut
you're
up?
going down the wrong
Dude,
path.
would you shut the fuck up, man? Can I just get it out? And
Yeah,
then you
World War II history. Yeah, bring it. Come on. Let's
This
do it.
host needs to control what's going on because it's getting out of hand.
Like productive, right? I think we can understand that like atrocities happen and not compare them to each other. But I do want to talk about the source that you gave.
Oh, sorry.
Stop interrupting the host, you dumbass.
Your source
About
says
which
that
one?
The
Which
one
source? I give you two.
Yeah, so the one regarding like the National Review.
Oh, the one where there's literally video images of Hamas blocking.
There's
Yeah, what's
images,
your
but
issue
there's
with it?
certainly not like video.
There's. I mean, maybe that doesn't have the posted video, but IDF soldiers released the video on their Twitter page.
Did they? I'll have to look at their Twitter page because right now it just has pictures, and I don't know if those pictures are Hamas or not. And it looks like it says Hamas has both issued warnings to civilians not to evacuate when people didn't listen. So they have stopped civilians. And yeah, so I would say that if they are stopping them, it could be because they are scared for those citizens. I don't really know why they're doing it.
It's so when Israel bombs those citizens, Hamas can say, "Look, they're bombing civilians," and then you are up here saying, "I stand with Palestine and F Israel." That's literally they do it all the time.
Right. So from their perspective, right, they could be like, "Oh, they don't want them to flee because the evacuation routes are being harmed." Like there are several reasons
They're
why
harming their own evacuation routes. That whole bombing of like the thing evacuating. I watched the video. It's an IED. There's no missile dropping down. They bombed themselves. They're literally doing this. So
from what I've learned about all this, the one thing you have to be careful of is that Hamas operates largely under the fog of war and uses it to his advantage because they don't want people to understand what's happening, and it's something that they've done really well. They've created an even larger fog of war with everything by taking out their trophy systems, by taking out tanks, by using methods that are almost guerrilla tactics, like just running in there like under the radar, blowing something up, and then getting out. That's a gross oversimplification, but that's essentially what they've been doing. But that's what he does, and I've heard from a couple of people that you really need to find multiple sources on something when it comes to like this is what's going on in Palestine, because it's oftentimes propaganda. So that's something that I think is important to realize, or something I've learned.
You're cutting out real bad, bro. I can't hear you. You're cutting out a little bit. Yeah,
commit and got back to like the 1930s about the atrocities that the IDF has committed. So be sure to get both sides.
Okay, nobody heard what you just said. You were pretty choppy. What did you say? And yeah, nobody can hear you, man.
Yeah, drop some links in there.
I think I got a bad connection.
Okay. Tierling, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about Hamas and Palestine. Okay. So if you want me to talk about that, maybe I'll talk about that on a different live, but that's not why I'm here. So let's not divert from the main subject, please.
Truth is the first casualty of war.
Hi, Nine.
Absolutely.
How are you doing?
Absolutely.
I'm trying to figure out.
I've been better.
That's fair.
But I'll be okay.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can, but you still have 3 bars, babe.
Oh, it's his wife?
Mm-hmm.
Cringe.
How am I muted from this live?
I don't know.
You're not.
I'm trying to comment on Umbra in the comments, but I was saying racist slurs, which is obviously not true because I don't say racist slurs. So I want to know what the hell they're talking about. I do recognize that username.
Oh wow.
Hello?
Where'd he go? Oh wow.
I don't know. Maybe he'll be back. He said his connection was bad or something. No, that was someone else.
What's this guy's name? Toxic Sludge. Hmm.
Okay.
I don't know if
I'm
I'll
trying
get
to wait for
in.
him to come back.
Okay.
Yeah, of course,
You
Brahma.
know,
Yes, Brahma. Of course.
iffy.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Hold on. Be careful whenever you're muting people, guys.
Yeah, don't mute
One of
guests.
my mutuals said that too much stuff is getting muted. Yeah, so I got muted for saying not to compare Israelis to Nazis. Yeah, again, I don't think that that comparison is productive. I think it can veer into anti-Semitism. So I really don't think that
I don't think
we
these
should be
people know what
comparing them.
what
And
anti-Semitism actually
they are
is.
absolutely correct
I
in
think
the
they
comments.
just
But
say
again,
shit.
I just don't think it's productive. There's no reason to do it. Again, I think it can veer into anti-Semitism, and I think it goes into like playing oppression Olympics. So while I'd like us to be able to have a conversation, any anti-Semitism will be muted, period. So
that part.
Okay. I tried to look up information regarding like the strike or whatever. And
which one?
The safe routes.
I don't know if I'll be able to get into this live. I think they're waiting for Dude. They did bring someone else in. It's probably a mutual or a friend. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I can get in. I don't really care to talk about the Palestine thing. I'm learning as I go. I'm just not equipped to talk about it right now. We'll see.
Want to do that. I've already
More
seen
refrain from that.
that I really don't want to see.
Yeah, and Sean King is also
Sean King
extremely problematic. But I digress.
Well, that last guy was problematic too because he was really telling a bunch of lies.
Oh, shut up, dude.
I mean,
no, babe, that was just a bigot.
I think he started off saying that like
We're just going to reduce everyone to being a bigot. I didn't like what they said, so they're a bigot. Okay, whatever you say. Lowbrow debates.
period.
Can't say I'm
And there's
surprised.
nothing false about that.
I mean, we have to think about this in the historical context. Palestinians are also Jewish people as well. So there were Ashkenazi Jewish people that were there.
No, before Palestinian.
Not so they arrived at the same time. Is what I'm saying.
No,
This is like hold up. This is like BC era that I'm talking.
Okay, I'm talking about modern history because no one has a real connection to that to the people in BC time.
Yeah, I wasn't. I mean, I understand
What
that.
real
but
connection do you?
Because I need us to refrain from like this isn't about like pinning the blame on Palestinians or Israeli people, right? It's about recognizing that the nation state of Israel is the problem.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, Judaism is a religion, not a race. That's what I've always thought. But again, what do I know? I seem to not know much about this particular thing. I try not to say stupid stuff when I can.
Absolutely, because from 1948 upwards, they were there and they were ousted from their homes. That I understand. Right?
Right, but I think you need
But like we have to. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it seems like people either don't know or they're like deliberately leaving chunks of history out of this situation. I think this is something that I've studied for such a long time. So for me, when this started, it wasn't new. Israel and Palestinian have been at a state of perpetual war since the 1930s. They have been fighting like this since before the state of Israel was declared in 1948. So these skirmishes always happen. If you look at the war history of Israel, you're gonna see the 6-Day War, the Yom Kippur War, the initial.
So here's my thing: at what point does history become irrelevant? Like, how far back do you need to go before we're too far removed and don't understand that part of history? So it seems by this guy's logic, he's only willing to go back to like maybe the 19th century, and anything before that is sort of ambiguous, and I don't really know. Like that's the problem with arguing from this point. Like, sure, you can understand, you could do all the research and everything, but if we're like, how does the BC era of things not matter? Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. No.
Like the BC era, right? I get that. And I can also understand wanting to go back to the BC era to talk about the indigeneity, because if you look at like people who studied like the DNA and things of that effect, like they all go back to the same.
About 5 years is our limit.
Both sides of that, if that makes sense. But I think, right, the most important thing is just going to be talking about the occupation and what liberation looks like. Because again, I just fundamentally disagree.
Right, absolutely. I disagree too. I definitely agree with a two-state sort of solution. The problem is, in these times, Israel, I mean, it's something difficult to understand, but I think when we're talking about what the source of the problems is, political Zionism. It's just that simple. And if you want to understand Zionism, it's basically a Jewish political mechanism that was invented in probably like the late 1800s. There was this Austrian.
I need you to not do that, because this is exactly why I didn't want to. So, like, it's not. There are Zionists who are Jewish, but Zionism did not come from the Jewish people. It like their biblical text actually like.
I know, but let me finish before you.
Like forbids something like that.
I understand. So I'm talking about modern history. I'm not talking about biblical history. The idea of Zionism is a political movement that was started by an Austrian playwright named Theodor Herzl. He got together and he said, listen, all over Europe, we suffer from anti-Semitism, which was true. And we need to collectivize things, and we need to figure things out. Within this political system, they came together, they pooled their money. Very smart. I have no problems with Zionism on paper. Everything was good. They said, listen, we're sick of being attacked in these European countries. We're going to create something that's ours. If black people did this today, that shit would be awesome. They did it in the late 1800s. They pooled their money. But then they decide, we need a homeland. Where's our homeland going to be? Actually, Palestine was the third choice. The first two choices were like Africa and like South America. And then the third choice, they said, no, it's Palestine. This is our land. Right, Uganda and some other place. So eventually they landed on Palestine. That's when I have the problem with Zionism, because there were people already there. There were brown-skinned Muslim
colonizers. You're a bunch of colonizers. Zionism is a nationalist movement that emerged in the 19th century to support the establishment of a homeland for the Jewish people in Palestine, a region roughly corresponding to the land of Israel in Jewish tradition. It became an ideology that supports the development and protection of the state of Israel. Zionism is the movement for self-determination and statehood for the Jewish people in their ancestral homeland, the land of Israel. The vast majority of Jews around the world feel a connection or kinship to Israel, whether or not they explicitly identify as Zionists, and regardless of their opinions and policies in the Israeli government.
Where the British said, okay, we're going to do this, and they let them do it, and then they create this thing. And it's been in a state of perpetual war since 1948. Like, we can't not speak about that when we're talking about what's going on now. Like, did you know, like, the leader of this, the guy who planned this whole thing out, I think his name is Right. But the guy who planned this whole thing out was actually
I'm not
born
saying that we don't
in
like
a
we
refugee
shouldn't.
camp. He was born in a refugee camp in the 1980s. Like he was born in something that Israeli subjugation created, a refugee camp in the 1980s. And here he is. He created this plan. And I don't agree with Hamas either. I don't agree with unaliving grandmothers and little babies and doing this stuff. This is barbaric. They absolutely should not be doing that. But what do you do?
As well,
Can we not?
with Hamas, Hamas is a creature of
How old is this
Israel.
person?
So there are multiple political leaders in Israel.
I really, really wanted to get on a debate. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. I don't think these people are, I don't know. I want to get in on this, but I'm sick. I don't know. I'm not sick. I am kind of sick of hearing about this shit. I am kind of sick of it. Wasn't Africa the supplier of slaves? If we want to give in to systemic issues, then wouldn't the African tribes who supplied slavery be an issue? Oh, absolutely. Don't talk about that. You don't want to talk about that. Also, the slavery for which the slavery we are aware of and we've been taught is like the only slavery that exists. It was something very new. Once we were able to travel the world, in these ships, that's when we started. Like that's when the racial, or a lot of the racial enslavement began. For the longest time, people enslaved their neighbors. It became a it was a class thing, not a race thing. Those in a class above would enslave those underneath them because they had the ability to, the power and influence. This being a racial issue is fairly new in the grand scheme of time, but people don't want to talk about that either. It doesn't serve their argument, so why would you?
But what I was saying was like I know it was strictly anecdotal, and it's like one of those things that we try to stay away from when we're having conversations about like we don't want to get conspiratorial, but like I keep telling people about this ad I saw literally an hour before the airstrike happened, and it was basically trauma corn of the Israeli people, if that's what those clips were, is that it was like a supercut of people being like brutalized, and then it was like stand with Israel at the end. I've seen that ad multiple times.
Can I ask? Sorry to cut you off. I thought you were done. To Asmodeus, is your name Esma? I think I heard somebody say that.
Yeah.
Yes, you said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hi Esma. I have a student named Esma too. When you said like about Israel funding Hamas, and you said it was like many, I guess it's gone on for many.
I am probably going to drop from this live too because they're going to continue talking about Palestine. I have no interest in it. I don't want to talk about that. It doesn't. It does not. I don't really care. It's not that I don't care. It's not what I want to talk about. Well, I'll do one last look and see if I can find something that's. Oh, that guy doesn't have an arm. Holy shit. Wild. I mean, I would like to get in there, but can't do it. Can't do it. I'm liberal. Ask me anything. Yeah. These Stand With Israel commercials are creepy as fuck. Yeah. I don't know. I like I said, I did try and do my best on No, yeah, Mike, they're not talking about it. They're balls deep in the Palestine thing, which is fine. I thought they were gonna really try and do like a debate. They pulled me in like 3 others, and I just don't want to get into a conversation with 3 or 4 or 5 other people there, because then I can't like have the back and forth. I don't mind if they're all like against me. That's fine. It's whatever, but it's on a topic that I don't know enough about, and I wouldn't be able to like say anything. So yeah, I certainly, I tried. I would like to. I want to find debates, man. I really do. These are I think they're fruitful in some regard, but I'm just finding that. Oh, see, this is a really big panel. Again, I don't really care. Dude's lifting weights and he's huge. Oh, doesn't look like we got anything today. Unfortunate. 2 dudes. So he's still talking about Palestine. That chick has a mustache. Wild. Nothing good on y'all. I wish more people didn't have a strong opinion, mad respect. Hey, here's the thing. Here's what I'll say. And this is something I was going to make a video on anyway. If you really want to understand who I am, like people will say to me constantly, I really respect you for having these people on. I wouldn't be able to do that. Was something that I tweeted yesterday that you can support people and be critical of them at the same time. You just have to grow up. What people don't understand and what people aren't willing to take is criticism. They aren't willing to be course corrected or put in their place, because a lot of us, regardless of what side of the political aisle you're on, have been babied for a long time. It's okay to be in an echo chamber. It's okay to be around people that you share interests with. It's not okay to be able to think outside the box. And why do I do what I do? Because I think it does serve a purpose. Because it allows me to be critical of someone, but also understanding their humanity. These are all people that we're talking about. Whether or not you agree with them, it doesn't matter. We don't live in this. They're likely not your neighbors. Even if they were, like, you're not friends with them. Don't worry about it. There's this growing need to just be right all the time, and that is not good, I don't think. And I think the reason that is like that is because we operate from our own perspectives constantly. We're not willing to, and this is not an easy thing to do. What people need to do oftentimes is steel man the argument, almost like playing devil's advocate. If you're unable to do that, you're never really going to understand where someone else is coming from or trying to understand their argument, because you might learn something along the way. I don't have all the answers to the stuff that's in my debates. I asked you guys to throw some stuff in the debates channel and Discord, and that's awesome that you do or don't. It helps me understand things. There might be something I didn't know before that I might learn in here. Or someone might say something on a live and I'll go, okay, I have to take you at your word because I'm not going to research it mid-debate. I go and look at it and see, oh, okay, their point was right. Oh, but there's also more information down below that helps me realize that it doesn't fully validate what they're saying. And that's also an important part of the equation, because our knowledge of things is always changing. Things are ambiguous. We don't fully understand. It's hard to account for the infinite variability of humanity. We can get a general idea, but there's so many different variables that we can put into place. Metadata can be manipulated in ways to make things look one way or another, oftentimes. But steel manning an argument is like one of the best ways that you can understand opposition. And it's something that people don't do enough. It's because there's a need to be right. There's no need to mention anyone's name because every single person is guilty of it in what they do. Not everyone's responsible to give you an explanation for something that happened, why they did something. It's not important. People will do as they want. You need to take that information in and parse it with every experience you've had before, and then spit out your reaction or your answer or whatever it is. And you can't blame people for when they don't act on things, because they don't have, there is no one that shares the same experiences. We all have different angles on things. And at the very, very basic, I have a different vantage point than you, whether it be by, a couple inches higher off to the side, and then mix that in with every interaction I've ever had with an individual in my life. It all comes out differently. It's all coming out. We have to, where people are losing their way a lot of times. I've seen a lot of dissension on Twitter. I see communities fracturing. I see people, being way outspoken on things. And I even wrote a long tweet about like trolls and dealing with trolls. What people need to do is ignore these people out of existence. Trolls are like an open flame. Your retweets, your mentions, your continued sharing of their content is the bellows that's pushing that fire and giving it fuel. When you choke a fire out, it dissipates. It's gone. These people want your attention, good or bad. That's all they want. In some regard, that's all anybody wants. I imagine a lot of the people sharing this shit on there share it because they know it may or may not go viral, and they want their time in the sun. They want attention. Hey, look what I found. As people in general, we need to get better at not being so reactionary with things, but not blindly supporting everything that comes down the road by people we like. It is okay to criticize them if something is wrong, if you think something is off, if it's in good faith. Bad faith criticism is not productive. Good faith criticism, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I am 100% always open to criticism I'm writing. I want people to tell me when something sucks, when they don't understand something. They're not insulting me. They're saying, hey, I like what you wrote, but there's some things that are off. Or they could say, I don't like what you wrote because I don't like that kind of story. Or it was just bad. Okay, why is it bad? Well, then if someone asks you why something's bad, you should have the brain capacity to be able to explain why it's bad. We are deprived as a society and even as a community of high quality content because we know that this like lowbrow reactionary content is what sells. Right? Do people like the TikTok debates? Sure, people seem to enjoy it, and I like that. But they're not like, the reason I'm doing it is not necessarily for clicks. It's because I need to there's a need to understand who that person is and break down their argument, call bullshit on their topics. I love all of you, by the way. I don't ignore you, Metastep. I love you. Jeremy, but I love existing. You should exist. We all need the emotional punching bag. I'm doing my best to be real with y'all and not sugarcoat things. I did a couple little, rants today, and I'll clip those out so people can see them. It wasn't a successful debate day, really, which is okay. We're gonna have hits and misses. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe people are catching on to who I am and they don't want me around. Fine. Red says, casting a snake into the pit to eat the idiotic snake is a necessary evil, in my opinion. Unfortunately, not going to lie. Yeah, and here's the thing. It's not to say that we're all going to reach a point where we're just completely enlightened and we know how to interact with one another. Free speech is free speech, and it's important because it does expose people for the frauds that they are, for the liars that they are. And it's important to know who those people are. If we allow one side or the other to dictate what truth may be, like that's the problem. It should be open speech besides like, open threats to others, right? Like saying, I'm going to be there at this time and I'm bringing this with me and you're gone. Like that's an actionable threat against someone. It, should not be protected. But, ideas, thoughts, criticisms, it should not be regulated. Y'all are hella cool. I appreciate you hanging out. I'm going to go chill for a little bit before my kids get home. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. Really, y'all are great. It's always fun doing these and even just listening in as we get it. I appreciate all that you guys do. Again, join Discord if you'd like. I have a lot of my interviews popping out on Spotify. There's playlists that contain these debates and also the midweek hump clips. And there's so much stuff out there. I encourage people to become a member on Locals to get some behind the scenes interviews with all my guests. Yeah, appreciate you, Dempsey, Red, Denhawken, Metastep. So many people came. Brahma Bull came through today. Shaka Zulu came through. Who else we got in here? I'll say goodbye to y'all. Mike has bad knees. I didn't get to talk about spanking, but yeah, I appreciate all the help that you guys offer. Dermy Wormy, thanks, dude, for chilling. That's it. Brahma Bull was here. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I'm looking through this. Oh, Greg Horvey was here. What's up, man? Art of the Roll. Good to see you, brother. Rock was in here for a little bit. Nasmer was here for a bit as well. And the Cream NATO. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. Nuclear was here as well. I realized a lot of people left because they hate like what was going on. Yes, sir. See you Wednesday night. We'll see you guys Wednesday night. We're joined by Melee Games. Make sure you join us for the midweek hump, 9 p.m. Mountain Time. Until then, be good. Love one another. Take care. Jack Tarlad, good to see you, man. See you later. Bye.